In the last few months, rumors were spreading about of North Korea's nuclear rocks, and Kim Jong-un said that his country is ready to burn South Korea to the ground. As everyone knows, this is not the first time that Kim threatened another country with his nuclear rocks. After a few days, Pyongyang announced that they created a rock that can reach the United States border in the blink of an eye. Among all these intimidations, does North Korea is capable of sticking a country with nuclear weapon. In 2003, North Korea withdrew from the treaty nuclear weapons spreading. Thus she broke all the rules of nuclear weapons restriction by launching the nuclear experiment in 2006. The United Nations announced that North Korea probably developed 15 nuclear heads, and it is expected to grow 100 more by the late 2020. The nuclear program of this country is frightening, with the possibility of hitting neighbor countries like South Korea, Japan and the South Asian countries. Meanwhile, the former ambassador of the U.S. to North Korea warned from underestimating the nuclear system of the country. He says that it's easy to claim that North Korea is not capable of using these deadly weapons. North Korea actually built a series of underground tunnels, and regarding any possible strike from other countries, especially the U.S., that has been testing its weapons in order to fight back. In 2016, former Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel said the United States had built bases in Alaska and was ready to strike North Korea. But the United States still needed to develop its combat capability to resist North Korea's nuclear weapons. Can't the Americans just shoot down an incoming nuclear warhead with an anti-ballistic missile? Maybe, but that kind of protection has never been used against an intercontinental ballistic missile (ICBM) in war, only in highly choreographed tests. Even then, the costly anti-missile systems have often failed to hit the speeding mock targets. It's a numbers game that can play to the offense. If the North fires 3 nuclear warheads and the United States manages to shoot down 2, the North would still accomplish much of its objective with just one city's destruction. The North is clearly exploring ways to improve its penetration of anti-missile defenses, and is likely to investigate others. In March, it simultaneously fired 4 missiles in a salvo that would make it harder for American defenses to shoot down all the incoming warheads. Warheads that zigzag could foil anti-missile systems. North Korea recently displayed a missile warhead that boasted fins, implying an interest in such evasions. A final step would be clouds of inexpensive decoys. Advanced intercontinental ballistic missiles carry large sets of such fakes alongside real warheads. The false targets provide protective cover and vastly increase the complexity of the anti-missile effort. The Korean president seems comfortable with his situation, and ready to launch his weapons for any simple reason. After the General Van Sant Brooks said that Kim Jong-un is unfriendly and too pushy more than his father, the Korean military actually got ready for launching uranium towards the enemy in any time. There is a news that the elite of the North Korean army is armed with a nuclear bag and is able to free uranium in the direction of the enemy armies. In the same report, Korean soldiers have become part of the nuclear arsenal, but putting a nuclear warhead on a rocket and sending it through the middle of the world is very difficult. There are some challenges, which the New York Times sees as having to solve in order to achieve its goal. Access to U.S. territory may be possible after recent tests carried out by Pyongyang on an intercontinental missile. After several tests last July, it succeeded in launching a missile that showed its ability to reach the western coast of the United States, and perhaps Chicago as well. But the main problem for North Korea is the development of a missile warhead that can withstand the great heat from atmospheric friction, especially as the warheads launched into outer space by an intercontinental ballistic missile land again at about 4 miles per second. The air produces high waves of heat, which may blow the warhead before reaching its target. Another problem lies in the momentum of the missile, which must be burned evenly to reach its target, but North Korea's manufacturing errors are uneven and this heads off its course. Last month, a camera in Japan picked up a mock warhead fired from North Korea and then returned to the atmosphere. Some experts believe the video is evidence of North Korea's success in solving one of the problems, and others do not see it as evidence. Joshua Pollack, a nuclear weapons expert, says the quality of the video is too weak to determine what happened. The North is trying hard in making progress, and military experts and intelligence tend to assume the worst possible. Analysts say if the North maintains a missile test rate, it is likely to reach some of its problems next year, if it has not already arrived. The two researchers John White and Jeannie Town believe that the Korean nuclear danger developed enormously after 2010 events, when a South Korean ship named Rox drowned because of NK forces resulted in 46 deaths, but South Korea kept silent, which gave the country increase its strikes. Nevertheless, the cooperation between the U.S. and North Korea is still on. The United States of America holds nowadays approximately 1,500 nuclear heads, which is 100 times bigger than the arsenal of North Korea. In the midst of this vast gap, criticism is mounting that North Korea is doing nothing but pretending to be strong. In May of 2016, Kim said he would use nuclear weapons only if his country was attacked, and that the goal of his nuclear program was global peace. A lot of experts in political science see the rush for nuclear weapons will prevent the world from a World War III. This strategy is called mutual assured destruction, and it was on in the Cold War between the Soviet Union and the United States. Kim also emphasized that as the power of holding nuclear weapons increases, likely war is prevented. However, the news from this Asian country are trustable, and any information is said especially in the official channel of the country should be treated properly. With all of this, we can say that the world needs protection from these nuclear weapons by wise people. In my opinion, I think that there will be no war between North Korea and America, and why we should not forget that North Korea's decision-making is taking place in China. The fact is that if it does not give the green light to Pyongyang, it cannot do anything. That will only continue the threat and intimidation, will not allow a war on its borders, and will not allow the encroachment on North Korea, because it is the most important pressure point on the West. America knows all this, and will not approach China. Its speeches are for internal consumption, and for swaying voters only, and it will not act alone. I do not think its European allies will follow in this ill-calculated adventure. If we go back to history, America finds all its wars with weak states such as Iraq and Afghanistan, and will not enter into a conventional war with a nuclear-armed nation, but will use economic sanctions and time weapons, wait until it collapses internally as with the Soviet Union, and then intervene. So the Americans should know that no country around the world is threatening your security or trying to attack you. Only politicians in your country are looking for justification to enter wars for economic and political purposes, and finally, the poor in your country and around the world are paying the price. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel and click on bell icon to get our latest updates and notification. And don't forget to like, comment, and share. Thank you for your time and thanks for watching this video. Take care and peace out.